Hi, this is Scott Love with RecruitingMastery.com. What if there was a way that for less than $100, you could have tens of thousands of people hear about you in the next 2 or 3 days? That's something I did on Monday. I'm going to tell you what I did. It's Thursday morning and I've had over 30,000 people hear about me. I've been a trainer for about 5 years, and the one thing I've not been an expert on is technology. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that I'm kind of slow to pick up on a lot of the social networking stuff. In fact, since I started training, my core competency as a trainer has been on the operational and the attitude side, showing people how to become more persuasive in their communication, mastering the tactical components of search, closing deals, selling higher fees, and then also becoming more disciplined and keeping a good attitude. But one of the things I have figured out, and I figured this out when I got into speaking, was how to get a lot of visibility using technology, using the internet as a tool. I'm going to share that with you. This one idea could get you tens of thousands of dollars, just like it did with me. And I'll tell you about some of my success stories and other people that I've coached through this also. And I want to share this with you. It's a concept of writing a press release. Now, if you've never written a press release before, all it is a one-page document, a couple of paragraphs long, that tells people what you think about something. It's not written in terms of first person saying, I think the economy is great, hire people through me. It's someone quoting you. Someone is interviewing you. And now who's actually writing this? You are. So let me walk you through this. First thing I want you to do, go to google.com. You've probably heard of that site. Click on where it says news. Type these words in, construction recruiter. Now that's my niche. I don't work at desk a whole lot. I might close like maybe 3 or 4 deals a year. That's it, just to stay in the business. And I'm hiring people to take over my desk just because the demand for my recruiter training is really taken off. But I like to do it. I like to call candidates. I like the recruiting part. So I still do that. And I'm creating an opportunity for other people to take that over right now. But type construction recruiter. And you'll see at the very top it says this, construction recruiter Scott Love shares secrets of hiring top performing executives. What is that? It's a press release that I wrote. Where did I write that? I wrote it on a website called prweb.com. I've been using this site for several years. When I first got into speaking, that's how I was able to use that to promote my speaking business. You see, I have another brand that a lot of people in the industry don't know about. If you go to nolimitachievement.com, that's my motivational speaking brand where I speak outside of the industry. I do keynotes in front of large crowds in insurance, banking, wealth management, all those different industries hire me to speak on sales and leadership at their convention. So it's a whole different brand that I started and I was able to promote using press releases. So here's your press release. And this one is talking about how the soft economy means that it's even more critical for owners and executives to hire top performing people. Is it self-serving? Well, everything you do in marketing should be self-serving, but this is the key. It needs to offer value. It needs to offer something to someone without any strings attached so that those few people that want to talk to you will be able to find out where you are. See, that's what the whole concept of rainmaking is. Too many recruiters focus on selling, on I'm going to cold call, I'm going to stroll for clients. Instead of making a million calls and hoping to time your call right, instead, do one thing. Put yourself in the path of those people who have a need for your service. So that those people, when they have a need, they'll call you. You'll be the one that gets the call. That's what rainmaking is really all about. And writing a press release is one small part of that I'm sharing with you right now. So you write your press release. At the bottom of your press release, you want to have a place where people can reach you. I put my website. Love's website, Construction Leadership, also has video clips and articles that can help employers hire better candidates even if they don't use a recruiter. Aha! Well, Scott, aren't you going to give away everything you know for free? Yes, I am. Because there's an executive out there that's going to read the article on hiring top people and he's going to say, that's a good article. I wish I had time to do that. Let me call this guy. So let me tell you how potent this one little concept is. How long will it take for you to write 4 or 5 paragraphs? Well, it depends on how much you write. If you've never done this before, it might take you, let's just say 3 hours, okay? 3 hours of your time, almost half a day. You go to prweb.com, you can submit your press release for free. When I started doing this years ago, you could pay as little as $10 so that you could choose which industries you would target, your press release would be targeted towards, and to be able to read how many people, see how many people read what you wrote. Now it's at least $80. So you've got to pay them at least $80 to get your press release high enough to be able to choose which industries you want it to go to and to be able to track it, to see how many people read that. So I paid him $80. I did this on Monday. I submitted this press release on Monday. I paid $80 and I chose different industries. I chose category of business, category of human resources. I chose industries of construction, real estate, mechanical, plumbing, all those things that were related to my niche. It's Thursday morning. As of this video, I've had 37,110 people read my press release. I had over 582 people print it out. And it's only been 2 or 3 days. Some of the ones that I did like 2 years ago, I've had a total of 381,000 people read it. I had one press release I wrote, had 2,000 people print it out. 2,000 people printed out my press release to read that within the construction industry. How can you make money off this? The one thing I see, there's a lot of interest in the internet. Oh, wow, the internet. I think for a lot of people, it really is truly the best excuse to stay off the phone and not talk to anybody. But if you can get them to call you, now you're making money. How are we going to make money off this? They're going to call you. High margin prospects will call you because you're an expert. Let me tell you some success stories I've had personally. I had one client that read my press release. He called me up. He had 2 positions to fill. Both of them were $25,000. I had another client who didn't read the press release, who read it. Because when I first got into this, I'm thinking, who's going to read these things? I don't read these things, but a lot of people do. Who reads those? The people whose job it is to know what's going on in their industry. Reporters and writers and editors of publications that write for the industry that you work in for your search practice. I had one writer call me up. She said, I work for Electrical Contractor Magazine. I'm doing an article on hiring talent. I'd like to interview you for this. Can I do that? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I had an owner of a company call me that read that article. To do a placement, it was like a $35,000 fee. So if people say, there's no money in this, well, I mean, that's $100,000 just off of, like $85,000 just off of a couple of press releases that I wrote. So decide for yourself and see if that makes sense. If it does make sense, I'm going to give you one other idea. I'm doing a teleconference Tuesday on June 3rd. It's the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So if you're rested and sober up, I'd like to invite you to join me on that teleconference where I'm talking about a host of other ideas on rainmaking. How can you get inbound calls from high margin prospects? What are some other things that you can do to get people to call you? I'm going to offer it at 2 separate times to make it easy for people, no matter where they live, to get this information. The first time is going to be 11:30 Eastern Time. The next one is going to be 2:30 Eastern Time. So no matter where you live, you can eat during your lunch hour and listen to this and listen to me talk for about 45 minutes, and then we'll open it up to Q&A for 15 minutes on things that you can do to get inbound calls from prospects. I'm charging only $77 for this, just like all my teleconferences now. I used to charge $97 for this particular teleconference because of the value. I'm keeping it at $77. You get 2 things. You get a chance to do some interaction over the phone, and you get a copy of the MP3. A few days after the call, I record it and I put it on a link on my site, and you'll be able to upload that and save that forever. I hope this one idea, though, makes a difference for you. I'm going to challenge you to write your press release, submit it to PR Web, and then if this works for you, email me. I love to hear success stories from people. Even if I've never met you before, email me. My email address is scott@recruitingmastery.com. My website is recruitingmastery.com. Look under the teleconference link to register. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for watching this. I hope this idea works for you. Now, get back on the phone.